Hey everybody, I'm going to show you some boxes that I made today, crates to hold pint jars. The regular mouth pint jars is what I was going for today. I'm going to go through and make wide mouth pint jar crates and then the same wide and regular mouth crates for quart jars also. These boxes are really easy to make. Each end has a 10-inch board there, and then each side is 14.5 inches. It's all 1x6s that I used. I found that I get the least amount of waste making these with 1x6x10s, and the way the price works out, at least here in Minnesota, a 1x6x10 by the foot is, I think, the most cost-effective board to buy. I guess idea behind making these jars is it's easier to store the jars in the crates because you can stack the crates, whereas you don't really want to stack jars on top of each other, especially if you store them like me without the rings on them. There's a 1/4 inch gap between the top of the jar and the top of the crate there, and so that means you can stack these crates one on top of each other and you're never going to hurt the lids of the jars or break your seals that way. I drilled 2 holes on each side to be able to, I guess, make it easier to drag the crates around on the shelf and make it a little easier to get your hand under them. I wouldn't recommend, at least the way I did it, with Pneumatic Stapler with, I believe it was 2-inch staples, maybe 1.5 inch staples. I wouldn't trust it fully to hold the weight of full jars and be carrying it around that way with these holes. I would still hold it on the bottom of the crate if you're moving it around, especially long distance. Making these jars took maybe making these crates took about 8 minutes each. I just set up my compound miter saw and, you know, made a bunch of 10 inchers and then a bunch of 14.5 inches and then stapled them together quick. I'm not gonna treat these with anything. If you wanted to, I guess you could rub them down with linseed oil or tung oil, or I guess some sort of stain and polyurethane it, but that's more hassle than it's worth for me. And this is cheaper lumber anyway, so either way. Other than the ease of storing canned goods, it's a much more durable thing. I'm only gonna have to, these should last quite a long time. I shouldn't have to redo it. And it makes for easier transport, say if you're moving from one house to another, or in a worst case scenario you have to leave your house for some reason. I think the idea of keeping your jars in the cardboard boxes is just kind of asinine, especially personally I don't ever plan on quote-unquote bugging out or anything like that, but I think it's asinine to store your jars in cardboard boxes where if one jar breaks, that whole cardboard box is shot, and then it's going to be hard to move things around. And then if you are moving this all around in an emergency situation, dealing with a bunch of soggy cardboard and broken jars just isn't worth it. There's a little extra space between each jar when these are full, so I could cut up pieces of cardboard to insulate each jar from each other, or I could use the cardboard to insulate each that comes with the jars when you buy them new, to insulate each jar from each other. I don't foresee that as totally necessary here, but I guess if you're a perfectionist or something, that might work better for you. But yeah, it's really easy to make, especially with, you know, I used a pneumatic staple gun to attach everything together and a compound miter saw to make all of my cuts, and it really was probably less than 8 minutes per box to make these. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.